Hello everyone! In this video I want to talk about Death of a Spaceman, respawning and all the contradictions we had, especially recently. Death of a Spaceman is of course Chris' idea, so it should be safe to assume that Chris is communicating his idea very well to his people.
Every death creates wear and tear on your body. Depending on where you were hit and how you died, your character may require a new body part, which can either be cybernetic or organic. Eventually, after too many deaths, your character's body will just give out, and instead of waking up in a med bay, you'll be attending the funeral of your fallen character from the eyes of the beneficiary you specified when originally creating your character. Reputation and faction alliances pass on to your new character, but slightly diminished.
How many times can you die until your body gives out and your next of kin has to take over? Next of kin doesn't inherit everything you own, next of kin doesn't inherit all your reputation, and I'm sure next of kin won't get all your skills. Luckily, Chris answered this question.
The kind of concept we would have is that you can only have so many times you can come back to life, which is basically you've sort of recorded off, you've taken a little bit of your DNA and you can grow a clone, but you can only do that 3 or 4 times. It's like having 3 or 4 lives. After that, you've degraded too much. Your DNA's degraded too much, and you're basically permanently dead. And your next of kin will sort of take over in the game, which is the sort of Death of Spaceman mechanics.
Let's ignore the fact that DNA doesn't degrade so quickly. Yes, DNA does degrade, but it takes a little bit of time. Chris very clearly said we can come back 3 or 4 times. And now we have this promo video.
You're probably thinking I'm a goner. But the thing is, I've died 1,000 times. Because a regen has always been the strategy.
How does you can come back from death 3 or 4 times and I died 1,000 times without any prosthetics, no cybernetics and no scars fit together? Well, it doesn't. So what's going on here? Again, Death of a Spaceman is Chris' very own idea. Shouldn't he communicate this well to his people? Is this just a marketing stunt to sell more medical Ursas? Chris, you cannot erase this. This video is in our memories and on our hard drives. We certainly will take a look again at this in the future. And then we have CRG employees who seem to have a very bad memory. Here's John Crew recently.
It is a tier 3 medbed, and the way medbeds work in the game is changing. Tier 3 historically did not allow respawn on them. We're changing that to allow respawn, but at a much reduced distance from the vehicles.
Giuseppe, can you provide an overview of the medical gameplay that will be available with the Cutlass Red at launch? John Crew. Second benefit is that players can set their respawn location to the Cutlass Red. Simply head onto the ship and choose the bed as your respawn location, and should a player perish, they will respawn there. And we have this, John Crew talking inside Star Citizen, January 2020.
And then the second is respawning, which you sort of access in a very similar way. You lie down on the bed, you set the medical beds to be your respawn point. And then at that point, if you die and the ship is still in a relative vicinity, you can respawn back to the ship, which is a big feature.
In 2020, John Crew stated in Twinfinite interview that you can respawn in a Cutlass Red Tier 3 medbed, and he said so in an IC 2020, and now in 2024, John Crew pretends this is not the first time we can respawn in Tier 3 medbeds. What gives? Memory loss, or is someone not telling the truth? And here we have Jared talking about respawning last Friday in Star Citizen Live.
Did you change medbed respawning just to sell more nurses? I went and talked to design director for Squadron 42 in the Precision Universe, Rick Porter. He was on the last Star Citizen Live. You met him along with Rich and JJ. They were the makers of the original medbed spawning system back when they were just on the actor feature team. Back then, which is about 4 years ago. Their intention was for all medbeds to allow spawning, and just for some to be at this distance and some to be at this distance. That was their original intent.
Here we have Jared interviewing Richard Tyra, the second man right behind Chris, in 2021.
You can go and choose and say, this is my respawn point where I want to respawn. Tier 2 and above facilities or ships will only have the ability to respawn. So that means Tier 3 medical beds won't allow you to respawn. And Tier 3 medical beds are what's in the Cutlass Red right now. So that's going to be a loss of functionality, which is what it currently has.
Is this another case of memory loss, or was someone not telling the truth? Richard Tyra is the second guy right behind Chris, and he was very specific. Tier 3 medbeds will not allow respawn.
Their intention was for all medbeds to allow spawning.
Well, if you ask me, it is now a total mess. John Crew and Jared are contradicting their own statements they made a while ago. And what about death of a spaceman? Can we die 3 or 4 times, or can we die 1,000 times? Chris, you really should clarify this very, very soon. Thank you very much again, Flickr, for helping and providing some of those links. I hope you found this interesting, and see you next time. Bye. Auf Wiedersehen. I don't know what happened. My mule is destroyed and I died. Flickr, I died. I wasn't hitting anything. Okay, I'm back in Everest Harbor, it says. The thing is, if you drop a bomb, okay, I'm just in... Do you want to hear something funny? Hey, you're still here. You might want to join me on Twitter. My Twitter account is Camural_SC.